All right, check this out. Pancreatic cancer, 5K. I finished first overall in under 18 minutes today, which is the first time when I think I broke into the 17s this year, maybe. At least the second half of the year, so I'm very stoked about that. Show you the medal real quick. Always like to come and support this race. It's in Indiana, on the Hoodlebug Trail, by the Divine Destiny Church area. It's a really big pull-off trailhead that gets used pretty frequently. Probably about a mile to the end of the actual trail, give or take a tenth or two. But this is a traditional race. I come here every year. Probably my like 7th or 8th year doing this race. I always like to do this race the day before, because I either do like the Indiana and First Marathon or I go to Sweat for Vets, but I usually try to go to Sweat for Vets, so it's kind of like a shakeout tempo run the day before. Gets me primed up pretty good. But finished first overall in under 18 minutes today. I want to say no more than 17:45. My watch has 17:37, so I'm not sure exactly what the time was. I didn't get to look. I probably should go over and look, but I'll look later for the official time. But even 17:37 on my watch, I did leave some time out there, probably 15 to 20 seconds of time out there today. So very excited about that fact as well. And I'll get to that here in a second. So definitely, I guess, happy with my training, how it's been. Even though the last couple weeks during races and stuff, and even some training runs earlier last week, my heart rate was jumping up pretty high into like the 160, 180 range, and even 202 a couple weeks ago, and it was really concerning. But maybe I just needed some rest, or maybe I was sick or something. I don't know. Or the watch was just not reading right. But I don't think it broke 170 today, so that was pretty good. I think they said this was the biggest crowd ever in their 12 years of doing the race. And it definitely seemed like it was a huge crowd. It's always hit or miss, I think, because of the weather. And they also have a walk division, so like sometimes the weather, I think, plays a role in how many people actually come for the race. Because some years it's been probably like 20 degrees and frosted. No snow or anything like that, but I don't even think it rained. I don't want to jinx it, but it was definitely frosty a few years, like a thick frost in the grass and on the trail. A couple years it was fairly decently warm. Today was about 43 degrees, I think, when I left my vehicle last time. So not really warm, but warm enough where at least the air felt warmer than the temp read. So I just wore my sleeveless shirt, my black and white ISO chill shorts, calf sleeves, my Endorphin Pro 4s, my MP3 player, and I just wore a basic black hat. Did about a 4/10 jog around the trail on the direction that we didn't use, so it's like an uphill towards Levity Brewing. Just wanted to get those uphill muscles going, that way I could run downhill a little bit. There is a porta-john over there. There was no line over there. The other porta-johns had a line, and I sort of snuck into that one, luckily. I had to poop a little bit. I'm glad there was no line, because it took me a while in there. I'll give you the little details. I was just having a hard time getting everything out today, because I know everybody wanted to know that. So glad I didn't have pressure to, rush when I was pooping. Took a poop before I left today, and I had a Nugo bar and some Ritz crackers with cheese in them for my breakfast with my green tea. A little bit of Gatorade before I came, or on the way, whatever. Ooh, check out this gob. I got a gob. I sort of smushed it now, but it was kind of sweet. I took on some grandma's cookies as well, and some Turner tea. Anyway, I did eat like crap the last few days, so I wasn't sure how things were going to go. But overall, I guess because it was a lighter week, because I did my 20-miler day on Monday, so I sort of pulled back the rest of the week. I'm only at like 33 or something for the week right now. So we started the race. There was a couple guys looked like they were going to give me some trouble, and I was like, ah, shit. So we'll see how it plays out. Because some years I've won this by a couple minutes. Some it was like close, and then I got beat a couple years. So it's been a mixed bag of how I placed. But I always like to start a little bit back in like the second or third row for this race and let the little kids go and burn out right away. But these couple guys, like, they took off, and they got ahead of the kids really quickly, and I'm like, ah, shit. I was like, I guess I have to go chase. I wasn't planning on going as hard as I did early on. But then again, it was dependent on what everybody else was doing. So I had to chase. Got out in front. Was in second pretty much right away. Drafted behind the guy who was in first at the time. I think, yeah, I'll get to that. Anyway, so the guy in first, got behind him, was drafting off of him to about 4/10 into the race. Because I was just like, oh, we'll see how it goes, to see if he drops back, see if he can maintain or whatnot. Because I never seen him before, recognized him before, so I wasn't sure what his abilities were. So I was drafting off of him, and he was keeping a steady pace. I was like, all right, we're just gonna go around, make a move. Even though that draft was awesome, really saved me a lot of energy, and we were running like 5:30s at the time. I was like, well, we got to see what we can do. So I went around him. I felt him like surging and trying to keep up, and then I just sort of zoned out, switched the song up, zoned out, and just ran the rest of the way out, not looking back or anything like that. Because once I got warmed up, I was on a mission. And that downhill on the way out, I wanted to use that as much as I could to try to get a lead or a gap the field. But again, not knowing what was behind me, didn't know what I needed to do, because he could have been right on my ass. Like, somebody could have been right on my ass and I wouldn't have known it. Sewage plant did smell pretty bad today. Got a little taste of it in my mouth both ways. More so on the way back, you could sort of taste it. I was like, damn sewage plant. So you got a little shitty taste in your mouth. But again, I felt good on the way out, and I was, like I said, I was running like a 5:30, 5:40 pace. Went to the turnaround. I had roughly 17 seconds at the turn, so by the time second passed me at the time, so I had 34 total to play with. I was hoping for a minute plus, but I wasn't lucky enough for that. It was definitely what I figured. I think it was just right under 8 minutes at the turnaround. I was like, all right. I think it was 5:33 was the first mile that I clicked off. Maybe it was about 8 minutes. Oh, either way, whatever. I was like, all right, that's a pretty good time. I'd be in the 17s if I maintained. But on the way back, it's got that slight uphill, and you definitely feel it on the way back after running the downhill pretty fast on the way out. I was definitely struggling a little bit. My time definitely slipped back, and I felt like I was running in more like the 6:30 ranges. On the way back, I'd actually have to look, but I was like, oh man, I don't know what's happening behind me. I hope I can maintain and not get past. Well, laps were 5:33, 5:47, 6:02, so pretty much I was under 6 the whole time, even though my watch might have had 6:20 on it the one time I looked running through the crowds, but it could have also been GPS signal. It's kind of spotty in that one little section. That's why I only got like 3.05 total mileage. Yeah, so I just kept turning and burning, trying to push but not blow up. I was kind of hoping that if I had like that 34 seconds on the way out, that I'd be able to gap a little bit more on the way back and not get caught, but you never know. So luckily I didn't get caught. Yeah, there was past second, then I passed third, and there was a little bit of a gap between a little group of younger kids, and then there was like a steady flow for a little bit of people. Then once we got to the walkers again, their turnaround, which was like 0.75 left in the race, there was a nice stream of them coming down to the turnaround, and I was trying to pass them on the way back. I got lucky, and I just had enough room where I didn't have to switch form or go into the grass like I had to in some previous years. Once I got past like 3 or 4 people, so that was pretty nice, so I didn't get out of rhythm. But I felt like I was slowing down or running a lot slower than my watch indicates or my pace indicates. But maybe it was just my effort to maintain it was just a lot harder, and I was actually maintaining the actual pace. I don't know, when I look back, maybe 2.6 just to get an idea of what's coming up behind me. Didn't really see anybody close. Then 2.8-ish, I looked back again, because you could sort of see the finish line around 2.8 in the view, and I wanted to look back since it's an out and back straight shot. I did pull back a little bit at that 2.8 mark, so I'd lost about 10 seconds, maybe 10 seconds at the most, between 2.8 and to the finish line, just because I relaxed some and let off the gas just slightly, so I didn't blow up, because I know I was teetering on that red line today, at least more so towards the end. And then on the way out, I felt like I could have ran a little bit harder on the way out using that free downhill speed, but I didn't want to push myself and hit that red line. But on the way back, I was definitely on that verge of redlining, so when I relaxed a little bit, I did lose some time, whereas if I would have kept pushing, yeah, time would have knocked about maybe 10 seconds off. And then I lost, like I said, maybe 10 seconds, you know, on the way out, just because I was drafting instead of going around earlier. But overall, I was very happy with how the race went. I performed. Really couldn't ask for better. This is what, I think, number 14 on the year. So I got off that 13 mark, which I always hate to have. Throwing in my goatee and sideburns a little bit just for No Shave November. Like I said, I'm happy with how my training went. I know this is a flat course, and the first half is downhill, so it makes it a little bit easier, and it's more of a, there is curves to the trail, but it's pretty much a straight shot, without being perfectly straight. So it's not the hardest course, but again, I'm very happy breaking into the 17, so there is that. And go home, get some food, take a nap, get some work in. That's my pancreatic cancer 5K for the Indiana PA Hoodlebug. Yeah, first overall, so whatever.